Welcome back to some more Dark Souls Remastered. So, last time, we, basically finished up most everything we really needed to do in order to beat the game. However, as you may very well know, there are some things left that we need to do before we finish our journey. Namely, we need to go to the Great Tree Hollow, as we never showed that off. After that, we also need to go to the DLC and do all of that. Once all that's completed, then we can go fight dear old Gwyn at the kiln. I mean, come on, who else would it have been? Still, it should be a pretty fun journey. The only thing that I do kind of regret is that we did mess up, Siegward, whichever one it is. Again, I always mix him up with the one in Dark Souls 3. Point is, we mixed up our funny Katarina Knights quest, and unfortunately I ended it a little prematurely. So, naturally you would go to Ash Lake as part of his quest, should you have done it correctly. We didn't, so, oh well, I suppose, but I still want to show it off. There's still some things there that are worth seeing, as well as an entire covenant, which you may not have guessed that that would have been there. Unfortunately, this does mean we have to run through Blighttown for what is this? A fourth? Fifth time? I mean, I swear, we just keep coming back here. For being one of the most dreaded areas in all of Dark Souls, I mean, it really hasn't been all that bad. I mean, sure, for a first-timer who doesn't know anything about the game or what they're doing, I can understand hating this place, but I mean, it's, not all that terrible on repeat playthroughs. Obviously and evidently, it really helps if you know what you're doing and where you're going, but even then, I feel like a couple tries and usually you can get through Blighttown pretty easy. I want to say a lot of the difficulty of this game honestly comes from just not knowing and how little the game actually tells you. I think a lot of folks struggle with that because a lot of more modern RPGs, or well, yeah, I guess you would call Dark Souls an RPG, wouldn't you? A weird, messed up kind of action RPG. Point is, a lot of games like this really hold your hand a heck of a lot more and don't, you know, put you through quite so much punishment. This is kind of the only game series I can really think of that really puts you through the ringer like this. But, speaking of being put through the ringer, the Great Tree Hollow is, one heck of an area that has you taking many leaps of faith, as well as, a lot of perilous platforming, which in this game is, kind of awful. It really is a bit messed up that they expected you to, you know, do a bunch of platforming in a game designed around not platforming. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of basilisks here. These are going to be your biggest obstacle, and past them, it's really just gravity. Like I said, gravity is all-powerful. It'll mess you up. It can even kill hacking, cheating invaders. But, it's no friend of ours. Should you take a fall that's a little too big or a little too far, your good is gone. Like so. It's also, very easy to slip off the edges of, the tree, so be careful. Now, admittedly, I don't think this segment's all that bad. I just think it's a little annoying, I suppose. Like, sure, it's not super fun falling off of branches, hoping you picked the right one, going the right direction. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of sections like these throughout this game where it's kind of just, I hope I'm going the right way. I hope I chose the right place to fall and go. The Crystal Cavern being a really, really good example of that. Yeah. It's no surprise that, you know, there's areas like this, but they're not too bad, and I feel like they're few and far between. Grant, I will say, compared to any of the other games in the series, I feel like Dark Souls 1 really puts emphasis on making you do a lot of tedious platforming. I mean, heck, there's even an entire boss based on it. Looking at you, Bed of Chaos. But, like, there's really nothing else quite like these segments. I mean, sure, in Dark Souls 2, you have the pit in Majula getting down to the gutter. And I think in Dark Souls 3, there's a tower or two that require you to do a little bit of platforming. But I don't think anything is quite this intense. There's absolutely not an entire boss fight based around platforming. Again, looking at you, Bed of Chaos. But, I don't know. I just, at least, if there are segments like that in those games, I don't remember them nearly as much as the ones in, you know, Dark Souls 1. Oh, that's a pain to get. Well, no time like the present. Oh, almost. Excuse me, my good sir. Can you please go do that somewhere else? Thank you. Yeah, admittedly, the only thing here that really you might miss out on is the Chloranthy ring, which we already got. Luckily for us, that's one of the easiest items to get here, and otherwise, I don't think there's any armor, weapons, or anything quite so special like that around here. Other than the basilisks and a bunch of upgrade items, you're not really missing too much by never coming here. Obviously, at some point, if you do Siegward's, or Siegmeyer, whichever one it is, so long as you do the Katarina Knight side quest and don't mess it up, you do have a reason to come here. And even if you don't do it correctly, or, you know, care about them, you might care about the Covenant that's way down here at the very bottom, which we will be showing off. But it's kind of just a giant trek through a otherwise not bad area, but just not very fun. Because again, one mistake and you have to find your entire way down again. It's not so bad if you're careful. There is a cut and dry path that you can follow, more or less. But if you want all the goodies and items, the Sharklies... The Sharklies? No, the Sparklies and the Shinies. There I go doing that again, where I combine words that shouldn't be combined. As well as you can see, multiple crystal lizards. Then you're probably going to have to come through here more than once or twice or even 3 times because there's just so much here and it's so easy to oopsies, I didn't fall correctly, and then you die. So, you know, now like I said, none of this is all that important. It's a lot of just, here's an upgrade material. Here's an upgrade material. Here are some souls. Would you like Titanite? It's just a bunch of stuff like that. It's nothing that ultimately I think is very important, nor should you really worry about. And honestly, this is probably going to be one of the first times that I really don't get, you know, everything in an area. Because frankly, we don't need red Titanite chunks. We don't need blue Titanite chunks. If you need them, say in your playthrough, because you're using, you know, a chaos fire weapon, or you're using an enchanted weapon, or something like that, then sure, you can know that these items are here. But, I mean, for us, they're not all that useful. See, even white Titanite chunks. I got all the America colors, red, white, and blue. I don't know if there's any green Titanite here. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's just not the most fun or interesting. I mean, I guess interesting, sure. That I can see the case for. But fun, I don't know about that. It is certainly an area at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, at least it is interesting. A giant tree that's at the bottom of a swamp that leads you even further down into the world? That's pretty interesting. Fun and entertaining? That I don't know so much about. I don't know. I mean, sure, maybe watching me plummet to my death several times is funny, but, ultimately it's not like it's, you know, the quickest thing out there. Now, I want to say, if you're really struggling with these segments, and you just don't know where to land, where to go, fall control can actually be super helpful for you. Ooh. Because it does help reduce the damage you take. It won't save you from lethal falls, but it will help you take some of the falls. Say, if you don't have, you know, all these Estus flasks. If you have, like, 5 or so, you're really struggling to take all the damage from all these falls, and you really just want to, you know, get down here. Fall control can be super helpful. A lot of sorceries I found in this game are really, really helpful. It's, I think, interesting how they've changed things throughout a lot of the Souls games like that. In later games, while there are still things like fall control, and there are things like light and the repair cantrip, all sorts of, you know, classic staples that you've come to know and love, I feel like in games, say, like Elden Ring, and I think even Souls, Dark Souls 2 and 3, there's a lot more emphasis on the support spells and supportive things being on miracles as opposed to sorceries. In this game, I feel it was pretty 50-50. You had a lot of miracles that could, you know, support and heal, and then you had sorceries that could do a lot more of the utility, rather than just, you know, pure damage. Also, look at this place. And note the music. This feels so much more epic and, I mean, end of game-ish. Honestly, I really kind of wish this had been the end of the game, down here. There's so much here that just seems end of world-ish. Like, this is where your whole journey should have come to its climax. And in my opinion, I really do think this should have been locked to being a later area. You can come here as soon as you get to the bottom of Blighttown. Make no mistake, it's a little difficult because your health pool isn't so big, but you can make it down here completely. Like, very, very early in the game. Is it worth it? Not really. But, like, what a cool place. I mean, all the trees, the music, the atmosphere. I mean, there's even a giant Hydra down here. So if you know, missed the one in the basin, well, you can fight another here. He is notably quite harder. Luckily for us, we have Crystal Magic Weapon now, which allows us to do some real damage with our weapon. It's pretty great. There's a good chance we might actually kill this Hydra without breaking all the heads. Which, that would be pretty cool. I don't think we're going to, but there was a chance of it. Come on, pal. 4 more to go. Really? Come on. There you go, buddy. It is a little awkward sometimes hitting them, just because they can go in the ground a fair bit. Let's see if we can poke this one. No, just barely out of reach, darn. Come on, pal. Ooh. If I could actually swing my sword correctly and hit him, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, I will say, one of the reasons I did want to wait to come here is because there are some difficult enemies, and there's also things that we wouldn't have otherwise seen until, say, we fought Seath the Scaleless. Those clams, notably, are down here, which is kind of interesting. Plus, you find a lot of very niche endgame upgrade items, so it's very clear that this place was intended for the end of the game. It's just weird that nothing really ever directs you here, nor even tells you about it. I don't think there's a single thing in the game that actually tells you about this area. So, if you've played this game before and you've never seen Ash Lake, here it is. It's really cool. Compared to the kiln, I like this area a lot more, and frankly, it feels a lot more epic than just, you know, walking into what is essentially a giant boiling pot. I mean, maybe that's just me, but still. The music, the grandiose scale of everything, seeing just how big the world is. The ominous pitch black water that looks like it may as well be the abyss. It's just so cool. The world of Dark Souls is so intriguing and just fascinating. There's so much that they, you know, tell you without saying words, which is super impressive in storytelling. It's one of those things that it's just like, man, even if you're not a fan of how difficult this game is, even if you're not a fan of how it plays, looks, what have you, maybe the story has captivated you. I've not really gone over too much of it myself because, frankly, I'm not really great with the lore of these games, but make no mistake, it's there to be found. You're gonna have to search pretty darn hard for it, but you can certainly find it. Luckily, too, there's a lot of video essays and people talking about it and just what everything is and means and could be, and it's a super heavily discussed topic, which I think is great. A game like this really deserves to be talked about in that way. Yeah, just look at it all. Oh. For being what I would call the water area of this game, it's really cool. Especially compared to a certain water-based area in Dark Souls 2 and 3, namely Dark Souls 2. Many people probably know the one I'm talking about, a certain shrine. Ash Lake is just... it's almost peaceful. It's weird. You're just this very small one undead amongst hundreds of thousands of unknown proportion, these trees, or what can assume to be trees, that stretch for as far as the eye can see. It's incomprehensible how large the world really is. And from coming down here, it really makes you feel small and insignificant. It almost makes you wonder if maybe what you're doing isn't all there is to saving the world. Or, you know, so we think saving the world, right? Now, something I haven't super talked about is the fact that this game offers different endings. I believe... oh, look at that! That's the first time we've seen that. We haven't repaired our weapon in a bit. So now that it's at risk, we'll be doing less damage per swing. We also have a chance of breaking our weapon. But that goes to show you just how long durability lasts in this game. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. This game has multiple different endings. One of the endings is the perceived good ending. You link the flame, you push back the Age of Darkness. Cool. The other ending is that you don't link the flame, and in fact encourage the Age of Darkness. I want to say you can get either of these endings regardless of what paths, choices, and decisions you've made throughout the game. You can speedrun the damn game and find yourself at the, you know, very end and then just walk out. You don't link the flame. It's interesting that they give you that decision, and that really, it ultimately doesn't super impact much, but the choice is still there for you to make. So unlike certain games where there's, you know, an ultimate true ending that you really have to work for, or, you know, secrets that you need to unveil, or you need to go through the game on New Game Plus in order to get the true, real ending, Dark Souls doesn't really have anything like that. If you get through the game once, or heck, even twice, you can have seen every ending. And even then, the endings aren't really all that different. In one, you use yourself to burn as fuel. Cool. And the other, you walk away. That's kind of all there is to it. And granted, there's more to it than just that. But in essence, that's all it really is. I would say Dark Souls is very much so a game that embodies the sentiment of the experience, the journey, is what matters a lot more than the destination. Playing through Dark Souls, overcoming its hard adversaries, learning how to find new items, what to do with them, where to go, how to even play the game to an extent, that's the real fun of it. It's the struggle to fight, to live, to continue, to keep doing these things. I think it's the reason so many people like these games. So, getting to the end of them and being done is kind of sad. Luckily, that's where New Game Plus comes in, offering new challenges and possibly even new weapons and items in later areas based on what New Game cycle you're in. That's a bit rare. I want to say Dark Souls 3 did that a lot more, and I think Dark Souls 2 does it a fair bit, which is why they have an entire mechanic based around it. But in Dark Souls 1, it's kind of the same thing. It's just the same game, but harder. Still, we've made it to the end, where here we find this dragon. Here you can pray and enter the Dragon Covenant. And by doing so, you receive the Dragon Eye and the Dragon Headstone. This entire covenant is based around, I want to say it, PvP again. Interestingly, you can use the Dragonstone to turn yourself into a dragon. Kind of like how this guy looks. It offers you some unique moves, and otherwise I think completely tanks your defense in certain regards, whereas it increases it in others. It's kind of weird and an interesting thing that's been in most of the... Or actually, I think every Dark Souls game has some form of the dragon stuff like this. It's kind of cool. Still, this is a dragon. And here's his tail. For cutting it off, you receive the Dragon Greatsword. I believe doing that makes you leave the Covenant. Or at least it can damage your reputation with it. I kind of forget. Point is, if you don't care about the Covenant and getting the other dragon piece to become a full dragon, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, here it is. It's a Covenant. I don't think I've ever really interacted with it at all. But it certainly exists. So, you know. Admittedly, there are a lot of covenants in this game that are kind of just do PvP under different pretext. Kill people for the Grave Lord. Kill people for the fun of it. Kill people for the Dark Boon Blades because they killed people. You know, because someone else killed someone for another covenant and are a sinner. Kill people because you want to be a dragon. Help people out instead because, you know, you're a bro. There's a whole bunch of basically different covenant with the, you know, ultimately same goal, just under the different pretext. So, I suppose choose your flavor, and if there's something you want from the Covenant, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I mean, I generally don't mess with the Covenants at all. Now, back in the day when the game first came out, let me tell you, some of the Covenants were a lot of fun to mess around with, namely the Forest Covenant. You could sit here for hours and hours and hours just invading people over and over again. And I mean, people even made games and, you know, had fun with it. There would be people, you know, with friends who would just sit around the forest without the boss cleared just to fight people who would invade. People had a lot of fun with it, and frankly, I think in essence, that was a large part of what made Dark Souls so fun to people. There wasn't anything really like that in other games, so it was kind of cool. And sure, you can still do that and experience it with this version of the game, Dark Souls Remastered. Just, I don't know. I feel it's kind of come and gone, especially too with the amount of cheaters who play these games. It's not nearly as fun, I don't think. Back in the day, while you did still get cheaters, I think it was a lot more rare, just because most people were stuck on whatever console they were playing on. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, whatever. Nowadays, most people play on, PC. So it's easy to just install Cheat Engine and go crazy. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just, quick Google Cheat Engine, click install, and then, open it up with this game, max all my stats, give myself every single item, bada bing, bada boom, we're good to go, we're done. But that's no fun. And I mean, besides, Dark Souls is an easy enough game. I don't know why you would need to do that. Sure, there are some achievements that are pains to do, namely the collect all items and weapons, but it's not that bad. So anyways, here's the antiquated stuff, which is what Dusk was wearing. And wouldn't you know it, after you pick up the pendant, where you first found her, there's this black hole. So, let's check it out. Hello there, Mr. Black Hole. Please take me to the DLC. Oh, good. Well, in we go. Yeah, welcome to the, Sanctuary Garden. This DLC is quite interesting. It's, well, first off, it takes place in the past. So, remember when Dusk said she was, stuck in that crystal golem for a very long time? Well, we're going back to how long ago that was. Which, honestly, is really cool, because you get to see a lot of these same areas in the past. You also get to fight this weird chimera. He's, kinda mean. Now, if you notice, he has a tail. Like every other boss that has a tail, you can, in fact, cut it off. Frankly, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I believe it gives you a unique whip, if I remember correctly. And while I would like to get it, I'm not going to fuss about it. It's nothing we're actually going to use. Whew, careful. Now, I will say, this DLC is intended for endgame characters, or at least, end of New Game Cycle 1 characters. So, if you get here and you're kind of struggling, that might be why. You're not meant to do this at, level 1 or something like that. Though you can. Just like everything else in the game, you can in fact do it at level 1. Also, man, he is not giving us many chances to hit that tail. He does a lot of weird attacks, though I don't find him all that difficult. Like, really, if I wanted, I could just be running up to him and smacking him as hard as I could. But, I really want him to lower his tail so we can hit it. He's a bit of a weird boss in that regard. Whew. Come on, buddy. Ow. If you notice, he also abuses the fact there's water on the ground and the fact that you're in a, water arena. He also has quite a few very quick little attacks that are really annoying. Ow. There's a good chance we may have to redo this fight once or twice just to try to actually cut his tail off. I want to say this right here is your best chance, but he barely does the attack. So, I mean, if you have something like a scythe or, something that can hit up, it's a lot easier to just smack his tail than, what we're seeing here. But it is kind of a tall order. So while I will try to do it, there's a good chance we run out of healing or something. Ow. I'm just gonna chug right here. Thanks, buddy. Uh-huh. Come on, pal. Oh yeah, it also poisons you, which is a minor annoyance. I can't say I've ever really noticed it. More the immediate damage. Also, darn it, I missed my chance. More the immediate damage of him doing stuff is much more obnoxious than the poison. I mean, sure, it can tick you to death, but at this point in the game, poison is such a negligible stat. Now, if it were toxic, then I might care a little more. Come on, buddy. Really? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Are we gonna drop that tail anytime soon, or are we gonna be here all day? There we go. There, we got it. All right, nice. Now we can kill him. Hi, buddy. Wow. Woo. Poke. There you go. Nothing too hard. He's a bit annoying, but he's not all that bad. Now, once you beat him, find yourself in a very interesting little area. Also, I guess, too, be careful if you did get poisoned not to run out of health. Hey, find yourself in Ulysseal Sanctuary. Ah, there we go. So yeah, if you notice over here, there's a mushroom? Hi there.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described. I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness. But Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human. And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior?
Sure. Why not?
Thank you. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorceries of Uruseel.
So yeah, she sells you a couple gold pine resin, as much repair powder as you want, and she'll sell you the Ulysseal ivory catalyst. So, you know, that's nice.
May the flames guide thee.
I want to say if you didn't buy everything from Dusk, she can sell you some of the stuff she did before, but I don't actually remember if that's true or not. Point is, she's here, so that's cool. I want to say her name's Elizabeth, by the way, and that I think you can kill her and get a mushroom from her. So, if you want the mushroom, I guess do that. But yeah. This little place should look a little familiar. Namely, this bridge. We are in the past. And if you remember the forest, this is the same one we explored in order to get to Sif. Which is really cool. I love the fact that this is what the DLC is in this game. It's literally getting to see the area before it got ruined. As well as all the really weird creatures that inhabit here. But yeah, it's a super nice change of pace, and I really like the atmosphere. Now, it is a little dangerous, as I have mentioned. It is an endgame area. Namely, these fellows with the hammers, they're dangerous. The actual workers aren't all that bad, though their pitchforks do hurt. It's, you know, these guys that do a fair bit of damage, so watch out. Woo! And as you can see, without this magic buff, we probably wouldn't be doing jack squat to these guys. Their armor is incredibly good. If you also notice, a lot of enemies here utilize pack tactics, so Don't expect fair fights. Still, they're not the hardest thing to thin out. Go. Now, I won't lie. I don't know the DLC nearly as well as I know the base game. I think I've only ever completed it maybe twice. Because frankly, when I first played the game, the DLC wasn't really a thing. And also, I was kind of a kid who didn't have a ton of money. So when the DLC came out, I never bought it originally. So, you know. Still, I think I know it decently well enough. I may not remember every single little item, but I suppose we'll see, won't we? So yeah, though, there's a lot to see and do in the Forest of Old. If not fighting the gardeners here, then there's at least several items to find. And I mean, let's be honest, you're going to fight these guys regardless of what you do. But there are plenty of little goodies to be found. I want to say various armor sets, different weapons, all sorts of things that are just nice. Now, if you notice, these guys kind of do the same thing that the undead pygmies do. They lure you in with several enemies, and then all gank you. It's kind of interesting that several different enemies do that throughout the game, and I think it's kind of neat that, you know, if you fall for it, you'll fall for it. Now, notably, I believe these enemies can drop their weapon, so if you want their pitchfork, you can get it. I will say it is a super funny weapon. It has a unique, I believe it's an R2, the right trigger, where when you use it, you do a little goofy run forward, and then you flop on your face. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah, and against these big stone guys, the physical really isn't gonna do you much good here. So if you don't have some form of magic... Whoops. I totally forgot I was right next to a cliff. But, like I was saying, if you don't have some way of doing magic damage, you're probably gonna really struggle here, which isn't great. Now, if you have, I want to say, blunt damage from, say, like, a hammer or a club, you'll probably be fine. But I'll be honest, I feel like a lot of people use bladed weapons more often than not. So there's a good chance you're going to be in the same boat as me, where frankly, you don't do a lot of damage to these guys. Now, notably, piercing still does really good damage. So if you're like me and have a way to do piercing damage, two-hand your weapon and get piercing. Yeah, admittedly, I feel like they really expect you to have something to supplement your damage. But if you are a pure physical build, well, good luck. I really don't have any hints or help for you. I want to say these guys being plants, they're weak to fire bombs. I guess let's give that a try and see what happens. Just kind of chuck one, see if we hit a guy. Nope. Hi there, friend. Yeah, see, they're decently weak. If you notice, they also have, like, a little shutter. Because I believe that's, like, them showing, like, hey, we are weak to these. So, if nothing else, you can at least buy firebombs and use those. Now, obviously, as I've discussed before, everyone in the game, no matter what your build is a master pyromancer. Because, of course, you are. It just takes souls. So, if you want, frankly, I'd bring some pyromancy here. It'll help you out, especially at this part in the game. Namely, too, these big fellas. Yeah, C16. They themselves don't really particularly care for fire damage. Now, magic, it does pretty good. Excuse me, big fella. Even piercing does fairly good damage. So, say you just use the base longsword throughout the entire game, it'll be doing fine here. But, if you're using, like, a curved sword, good luck. It's kind of all I have to say. Sure, you can probably do damage quick enough that it doesn't even matter, because your swings are really fast, but, I wouldn't expect you to be doing insane damage. Also, if you remember, this is where we fought the kitties. So, that's fun. Otherwise, this is where I start forgetting where all the goodies and items are. As you can see, you can get the armor of these big stone guys. You just have to know where it is. That's kind of my issue, is that, again, I just really don't know where all the items are. If I did, it wouldn't be a problem. I, just forget. This is where I would recommend using the fire bombs. Just to... Oh, hey, look. There's that running attack I mentioned. These guys do it themselves, which is really funny. Yeah, I would recommend using fire bombs if you got them to clear out the herd. Ooh, nice. But if you don't have them, just take them on one at a time. Usually the little guys are a lot quicker than the big dudes. Go figure. So if you're having a tough time with these big guys, just run away as far as you can, and you should be fine. You know, I was hoping that would kill him. It didn't. Woo. Excuse me while I take a sippy real quick. Thanks, pal. Whack. Goodbye. Oh, goodness. Plus, these guys drop moss, which is kind of nice. If you happen to get poisoned somewhere else other than here, should have plenty of moss now, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, in this first little forest area, which, you know, technically we've been through in the future, I really don't have too much to say. It's pretty, but, there's not really too much going on here. Also, this is where we, would walk across and, meet our kitty friend, but as you can see, the bridge isn't here, which is kind of weird. That means that in some point in the future, they modified this structure right here to have a bridge. So, why they modify it in the future and it wasn't already like that, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. But if you can see, there's a lot that was notably different here. Between a coliseum and more, this was quite the different location. And admittedly, I think it's really cool getting to see an area like this in the past. Ow. Yeah, I will say, that attack there, you do not want to get hit by. That'll really put some hurt on you. Now, admittedly, for doing the DLC and endgame stuff, our armor really isn't up to snuff. It really should be plus 10 at this point, but I haven't wanted to farm Titanite chunks or Titanite slabs, for that matter, which is kind of why I decided to wear the black robe and the gauntlets, just because I really didn't want to worry about farming those things. Frankly, there is better armor out there than, say, the black robes and things like that. I mean, the Elite Knight set is, you know, really good. But like I said, I really didn't want to focus too much on having to, you know, farm those, because frankly, it takes forever. So I figured I'd call it good with what we got. Oh, hello. Oh, you have a good day now. So anyways, that's the Black Dragon Column. They're scary and do a lot of damage. We'll be fighting them later. Ooh, Crystal Lizard. Woohoo, we actually got him. Oh. Yeah, and if you see, there's some very interesting things going on here. If you couldn't tell, this entire DLC is focused on not only the past, but the Abyss, as well as Artorias. We've heard of him, but we never got to meet him as he was already dead. We did meet Ornstein, who was, I believe, one of the knights, but we never met Artorias, who was already dead. Nor did we meet one of the other of Gwyn's 4 main knights, who also, I believe, had long since passed. It's weird that Ornstein was still alive out of, I believe, the 4 of them. But, yeah. In fact, I think he's the only one who was alive. Artorias was dead. I believe Hawkeye, whatever his name, was dead. I think her name was, well, I mean, we'll meet her in a bit, actually. The other 3, point of the matter, were gone. They all were, very much so dead. But we'll actually meet all 3 of them here. Yeah, Go. There we go. That's his name. Go. A little redundant sounding, but it's true. I believe it was Hawkeye Go. And then there was the Wolf Knight Artorias, the Lion Knight Ornstein, or is it Lion Knight or Dragon Hunter? I want to say their rings actually tell you about them, so let's actually take a look, seeing as it's relevant now. So yeah, Leo ring, Lion Knight, Ornstein the Dragon Slayer, the Wolf ring, who belonged to Artorias the Abyss Walker, the Hawk ring, who belonged to Hawkeye Go, and the Hornet ring, who belonged to the Lord's Blade Sieran. So while we've met Ornstein, we never met Artorias, though we did find his grave and his dog. And frankly, other than reading the ring descriptions, you never probably would have heard of Hawkeye Go nor Sieran. Ooh, we actually got the plow. Very nice. Now, notably, and I will tell you about this again once we get to her, Sieran has some very, very, very good weapons for anyone who is using dexterity. Frankly, you have 1 or I believe 2 chances in order to get them. The only way of which is, well, you'd think is to kill her. There is one other way. At least I believe. It's been a minute. Again, this is a lot of stuff I don't really remember all that well. I believe once you get, a little bit later and we fight a certain someone, she will ask for that certain someone's soul. I believe, should you give it to her, she will give you her weapons and then disappear. I do not remember if that is the truth, but I feel like that's what happens. Otherwise, what most people do, which frankly I would say is a lot more reasonable, I backed myself into a really bad corner here, is generally people tell her to go screw off, and then they kill her and get her armor and her weapons. Again, there might be a more proper way of doing things, but man, if I really don't remember. So, my apologies if I don't do things quite correctly involving her. I've always kind of just killed her, because a lot of people just say, it doesn't really matter if she is left alive or not. She kind of doesn't do anything for you. Whew. So, I mean, at the very least, I'll try to be good about it. I will, you know, give her the thing and we'll go from there. Because frankly, I don't plan on using it. So, you know. And, geez. Quite the distance. Ooh. And who's this? Well, this is an interesting fellow. Hey there.
Let me guess. Snatched by a shadowy limb and dragged off to the past?
Yes. How'd you know?
Yes, of course. Exactly what happened to me. We are both strangers in this strange land, but at least now there are two of us.
Huh. So yeah, this guy, I believe his name is Chester. He is a merchant who will sell you all sorts of things. No, he won't sell you infinite humanity, but, you know, or at least if he does, I don't know about that. I don't think he does, though. Notably, he does sell you infinite Lloyd's talismans. So if you actually care about PvP, namely invasions and preventing people from healing on you, it's a good idea to keep this guy alive.
Did you happen across Knight Artorias, the legendary abyss walker from the old tales? Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me.
Interesting.
So long.
Yeah, later, I guess. Now, the biggest thing I will mention is that, they're kind of mean and they don't give you a bonfire. So, yeah, everything we just did, you now need to do again. But they do give you a shortcut. So, that's at least nice. Now, something I'm going to do, just because, frankly, at this point in the game, we're at the end of the game. I'm going to get us 99 humanity, and we're going to rock it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go. Drop all these. And let's do our favorite duplication glitch. Come on. There we go. Because frankly, at this point in the game, we can really use the extra defense. And frankly, I think at this point, they kind of expect you to have as much humanity as you can. Because at this point, you really should know about and, you know, understand that that's how it works. So yeah, with it, we have defenses in the 300s, which is really good. That's about what you want for the DLC. If you have anything below that, you might really be struggling. Also, too, if you don't have 50 vigor at this point in the game, God save your soul, because frankly, you're going to be taking way too much damage to be able to reliably fight any of these guys. I mean, sure, if you're, you know, doing a challenge run or something, or, you know, just specifically being like a glass cannon, I mean, look, go crazy with it, you know? You can beat the game at level 1 with just fists naked. People have done it, they do it all the time. But for a more casual player or someone who values their sanity, I would recommend you have a fair amount of health. Same with healing, which is actually why we're going to go human and kindle the heck out of just about every single bonfire we find. Another big notable thing, too, is that you can do this DLC basically immediately after you get the Lord's Vessel. Once you place it and get rid of all the barriers that were blocking you, you can go right up to Seath and basically get the pendant and come right here. So if you know what you're doing, you can access this DLC super fast. If you're, you know, a max level character or doing a new game cycle, like new game plus 1, 2, 3, etc., then frankly, it could be fun to come here quickly and, you know, really challenge yourself. But otherwise, I usually save the DLC for the end of the game because it's tough. It's difficult. I struggle with it a fair amount. And granted, like I said earlier, I think at this point, I actually really want to use pyromancy, just because, frankly, it's powerful. So I'm going to put Great Combustion, and let's say... How about... really Great Combustion is kind of the bread and butter. I guess Fire Orb. Sure, why not? Then let's equip our Pyro Glove. Wherever it is in all of our stuff. There we go. And now we should be more than ready. Basically, I want to have that equipped and ready because, it's gonna really help us. You might be thinking to yourself, well, of course you're going to equip things that are going to help you in the coming fights. Yeah. You know, that's kind of how Dark Souls work. Of course I'm going to have the things that'll help me in the future. Yeah, I figure weapon buffs will be really good from magic, and then otherwise damage from pyromancy will be just as well. Goodbye, fellows. Yeah, admittedly, I don't think I've ever played one of these games playing as a full caster. It really just isn't my play style. I like to get in things' faces and hit them. But I do like using magic to augment my playstyle, you know, having buffs, support things, utility. Things that you wouldn't get from just running up and hitting things, for, you know, lack of a better term. I like the versatility that magic offers, whether it be incantations, sorceries, miracles, what have you. I like it. It's just I don't want that to be the only thing I do. So anyways, go fight Artorias. So yeah, say hello to Artorias. He is really cool. He's also extremely defensive. At least against slashing. Woo! For anyone who's watched, seen, or read Berserk, his moveset probably looks fairly similar to a certain namesake armor of the series. And I mean, of course it is. This game was largely and partially inspired by it. So, it makes sense. Woo! Be careful. Artorias does some real damage. This is a fight where, frankly, locking on may not always be the best idea. Excuse me, pal. Here, have some pokes for the road. Ow. This is gonna hurt. Ow. Whew. Ow. Yeah, and that's the thing. He is ridiculously fast for anything else that is in this game. It might really catch you off guard. But that's why we have things like pyromancy. Which even then, really don't do all that much damage against him compared to certain things. It's still pretty reliable damage, though. So, like most bosses, if you're struggling, just slap on the old pyro glove and you should be fine. Ooh. Yeah, this is where being locked on may not be what you need, because unfortunately, you can't run when you're locked on like that. Ooh. Yeah, there's also one of the other big downsides to being locked on. Pivoting! Sometimes when you run and turn around, your character will do a heavy pivot and completely break momentum. Also, I can't believe that actually hurt us. As you can see, Artorias can just straight up one-shot you if you're not careful. That was a very risky heal. Because, frankly, when he's buffed up with the Abyss energy, he does a lot of damage. Yeah, namely that attack right there. It's dangerous. Also, he has that weird little gloop throw. I usually am okay getting hit by that. It's not that bad compared to some of the things he can do. This is gonna kill us. Oh, I'm surprised that didn't. Whew. Excuse me. Just gonna take a nice little heal real quick. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, frankly, though, Artorias is a boss that I think is actually fairly difficult. I wouldn't be surprised if I die to him. He does a lot of damage, is very quick, and has some very interesting moves. This is gonna hurt. Ow. Yeah, see, me trying to use pyromancy, it's really not helping our case all that much. I would really just be better off hitting him like I was earlier. So, let's get back to it. It's also cool because he actually rolls just like we do, which is kind of neat to see a boss use our same strategy. Yeah, I feel like up close and personal, he's not all that bad. Still, I wanted to show that pyromancy isn't the end-all, be-all at this point in the game. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's just... it's dropped off pretty heavily. So, don't expect it to be your savior. Still, though, for beating Artorias, you unlock a whole slew of things. First and foremost, let's grab our bonfire, shall we? Now, notably, because we're human, and in basically the most endgame area you could be in, expect to get invaded a fair amount. There's a lot of folks who do like still doing PvP here, so if you happen to find them, don't be all that surprised. Still, at this point, we're about halfway through the DLC, which is kind of insane. The only thing left is going through this town, and then down into the abyss. So, I guess maybe a third of the way. Oh, look, and we're getting invaded. How fun. Oh, boy. Alright, well, buff up. Hey, look, he's one of the dragon dudes. Alright. Come on, pal. Let's do it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Huh. That was really mean, and I should not have done that. But, oh well. So yeah, if you notice, he was a, dark spirit dragon. He was one of the dragon guys that we have seen from the other Covenant. Yeah, anyways, should you enter this gazebo after defeating Artorias, you receive the purple Coward's Crystal and unlock the arena. So should you wish to play several different game modes, you can do that here. There's also leaderboards, which is really cool. So you can do duels, 2v2, 4-man battles, 3v3s, and 6-man battles. These are really fun, and frankly, if you're looking for just a, casual experience, I would recommend it. Otherwise, you can walk up these stairs here and find your way to this extra little tower. Also, man, yeah, I do really feel bad about hitting the well, what is it on that guy? I did not mean to be that rude. But, it's Dark Souls. So yeah, although you can come up here, it's locked. So, keep it in mind for later, just don't expect to do anything with it right now. So, yeah, back on down we go. Perhaps we'll find a key later. I want to say, once you have beaten Artorias, should we save and quit? I believe it's saving and quitting. I think you can also go to a different area, like if you warp using the Lord Vessel. That'll do it too, but I believe saving and quitting does it. Should find... yes. The Lord's Blade, Sierran.
Is that not the soul of the man who fell on this spot? He was a dear friend. I wish to pay proper respect with that soul. Would you be willing to part with it?
Sure, you can have it.
Thank you. You are very kind. Please take this. I no longer need it.
And so, for giving her the soul of Artorias, you receive the Dark Silver Tracer and the Gold Tracer, both of which are incredibly powerful weapons in their own regard. The Dark Silver Tracer has, I believe, the highest critical damage of any weapon in the game. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. The Gold Tracer is basically, I believe, the highest damage curved sword in the game without a buff. So, if you're looking for really powerful Twinkling Titanite upgradable weapons, these are extremely good if you are a dexterity build.
May the Lord guide thee.
So yeah, that's the only unfortunate part, is that in order to get these, you need to give her the soul of Artorias. Like I mentioned before, though, you can just kill her, and she'll drop them. So, you know, if you want the really cool weapons, but you don't want to give up Artorias' soul, that's how to do it. Yeah, so here's the gold tracer. Know that it has this really cool gold line with it. This is a super cool weapon, and I have used it before. It's really fun. Still, though, that's not the weapon we're using, because that would kind of make our entire build pointless. So, I would rather not. Otherwise, let's head on into the city, shall we? I'm sure it will be fun. And I guess with our, you know, souls, we'll level up a little bit. So yeah, welcome to Ulysseal Township. Here, you'll find a lot of these, big enemies that, frankly, while they don't have a lot of health, do a lot of damage. Maybe not so much these guys right here, though they do hurt. Yeah, I mean, he's not a great example, but, God, we got invaded again. It's the same guy. Are ya? Come on, brother. No. Uh-huh. That's very nice there. Yep, that is the dragon sword. It does the same thing. Oh, okay. I mean, I understand he's trying to do a gimmick, but, sorry, guy, this isn't really the time for it. I mean, you know, his 45,000 souls are nice. That'll help us level up. And the humanity we're getting for killing him is cool. But, I really don't have business with him. So, sorry, pal. Now, if I wanted to stop invasions, obviously, I could just go offline. Especially for, you know, a playthrough, a let's play like this. That would make more sense. But I think it's more genuine and fun to the Dark Souls experience that I don't do that. Also, if you notice there, that's a Dark Sorcerer. They use dark magic, which we haven't seen any of because I believe it's all exclusive to the DLC. You can get it here, and we will be getting some of it. Frankly, I want to say a lot of the dark magic would actually be really good for us because we invested into a physical stat the way we did. I believe it primarily scales with physical stats rather than magic stats, which is really weird. It's a super strange type of magic, but let me tell you, it is insanely powerful. A lot of people know about Dark Bead and how goofy it is, so it's no mistake. Also here, let there be light. Should you equip the Sunlight Maggot, it opens this door, which is super weird. Yeah, for doing that, you receive the Silver Pendant, which is a very important item for fighting the ultimate boss of the DLC. Maybe not the ultimate boss, but, you know, the end boss of the DLC, the big bad. Ow. I really don't appreciate the dark magic. Ow. Yeah, it's not all that bad to take or block, but some of those spells they can use are really damaging. Specifically, Dark Bead. This is Dark Orb. It's pretty good. And, yeesh. Yeah, we're not making that jump. So yeah, once you grab Dark Orb, just head on out. There's not much else to grab down here. This is also where, too, it doesn't help that I haven't played this DLC all that much, so I don't really know exactly where to go, and there's an entire part that I know I'm going to get lost in. So, forgive me now for what is to come later. But it should be cool. Also, I believe there is a fixed invasion here. Much like Kirk and some of the other fellows. Also, this is mean. They put a mimic here and they hid his chain in the floor so you can't tell he's a mimic. Make no mistake, he's a mimic. But, like all the other NPC invasions, I believe there's a fixed one here. Yes! Against Chester, who we saw earlier. He is, quite the build. As you can see, he has a bunch of, essentially, karate moves, which is part of the moveset of that crossbow. Frankly, brother, you're not trading very well. But yeah, Chester is not a friend of yours or mine. While he does sell you things, he's gonna invade you. So keep that in mind. Ooh, want that item. I don't remember how to get down there. Yes, I do. Whee! There we go. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I wanted to make sure we maintained human status, is that we get invaded by Chester, and I really wanted to show that off. That's one of the few things I knew about this DLC, is that he does invade you. Yep, otherwise, here I go, getting turned around. Oh. I really thought the momentum there would carry me across. It did not. Decidedly. So, oopsies. At least now we won't get invaded. So that's good. There are worse things that could have happened. And at least, too, getting back to where we were is a skip, hop, and a jump away. I mean, almost literally. For a first DLC in a series, I think it's pretty good. I feel like Dark Souls 2 got a little excessive with the DLCs. I think there were 3 of them. And frankly, they did add some really cool stuff, but there were some things in Dark Souls 2 DLCs that I was not a huge fan of. There was some good stuff in there, don't get me wrong. I've, said that. But there were some things in there that was also kind of really atrocious, and oh my gosh. I mean, look, frankly, the one dragon, and I think it was the Ivory Crown DLC? I might be wrong. Point is, there's a dragon that you fight who basically one-shots you and his whole gimmick is poison. That sucked. However, the Foom Knight? Man, is that a cool fight. That's an awesome fight. Yeah, anyways, enough about Dark Souls 2. Back to Dark Souls 1. Yeah, see these dudes? These guys with the red glowy eyes, they do a lot of damage. So be careful. As you can see, the abyss has been through here. Still, we should be okay. Also, I believe sometimes they drop, I think they drop Titanite or something. I really don't remember. Like I said, it's been a minute. Yeah, this is the area that I get lost in all the time. There's a lot here. There's also a lot of enemies here. And, frankly, I don't remember it too well. I just know that in order to get up to that area there, there's some weird, convoluted thing you gotta do. Just don't remember what it is. I don't think there's another sunlight maggot thing, but I might wear it anyways, just because, frankly, it's hard to see down here. But I swear I remember, like, you have to go in the fire pit and hit something like that. I don't remember. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Maybe killing these blokes will help jog my memory. Yeah, no, it wasn't this. Oh, he actually knocked down the item for us. Oh, nice. Thanks for Dark Fog. Which I think he also just used. Ow. Yeah, these dudes seriously start doing a lot of damage, so be careful. Yeah, I think we want to go here. And then there's some sort of, like, visible something somewhere. You gotta do some jumps or something. It's been a while. I think I last did this DLC in... oh, goodness. Maybe, like, 4? It's been a while. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is the wall I think I always forget about. That should you hit it, you can come over here, and for your troubles, you receive a red Titanite chunk, which isn't very great. So, yeah. I think that's kind of the only thing here. However, if you don't know about that wall, I believe you can literally just make that jump there. It's a little finicky, but I'm pretty sure you can do it. So, you know. Even if you don't know about secret walls, you can still make some pretty sweet jumps. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but you can try. Also, man, the laughing of these guys, it gets a little annoying, admittedly. Like, I get it, you guys are having a ball. Yeah, see, that's the room I don't super remember how to get into. I think it's literally you just jump right here. Yeah, we know, buddy. It's so funny. Oh, no, night now. Also, another mimic, of course. No freebies at this point in the game. Can't be doing that. You gotta fight the mimic. But for beating him, you do receive the crest key, which I believe opens the tower we saw earlier. So, that's important. Important. You want that. Baddie. That's funny. Yeah, otherwise, it pops you out here. I believe, yeah, you can go up there and do some things. But first, we want to go down this little ladder. I will give them this. They packed a lot of stuff into a pretty tight area. Also, yeah, that move he just used, Dark Bead, that's the one you want to be careful of. It does a lot of damage, and frankly, it's the biggest no-skill move that anybody in PvP can use. So, you know, if you haven't heard it from me, you probably heard it from someone else before. Ooh, twin humanities. Very nice. Yeah, this is kind of the end of the first area. Or, well, second area. It's not all that bad. At least I don't think so. Oh, yeah, and there's that item way over there, too. They put so many little goodies all over the place. I tell you, it's hard to keep track of them all. Here we go. A yoink. The soul of a hero. Very nice. Also, too, I never showed what that silver pendant was. It reflects dark. Silver pendant engraved with the crest of Artorias, one of the ancient treasures of Anor Londo, presented to Artorias for facing the abyss. Effectively deflects the dark of the abyss, especially in its magic form. So, should you equip this into your item slot, you can use this effect, which I believe while those little gold swirls go around you, will deflect any and all dark magic that should assail you. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. And admittedly, super useful. If you don't have this pendant, the boss fight against the end DLC boss is really tough. I'm just gonna give you a fair warning. This pendant is really helpful for that. You can do it without it, obviously, but should you not have it, good luck. Good luck. Also, if you notice, a big theme of this DLC is they kind of hate the player a lot more than the base game does. I was trying to say is that they emphasize no bonfires and making you redo areas via shortcuts a lot more, which isn't a bad thing. They just, you know, really make you want to work for things, which again is good. It wouldn't be all that fun if the DLC had a bonfire every 3 feet. It's still, though, if you came here way earlier and underleveled, you'd probably be really hoping there was a bonfire right about now. But granted, you at least got the shortcut. So if you ran from where we started all the way to the shortcut, then back down here, you'd be basically right where we are with full healing. So that's cool. Anyways, it's time to meet one of the weirdest enemies of the entire DLC. Hi there. This enemy is weird. I don't have any other word to describe this as. Frankly, pyromancy is your friend. We'll just keep hitting him with great combustion, and that's all he wrote. He does drop you a chain helmet. I don't know why, but it does. So that's cool. Anyways, once you're past him, you can call the elevator, which if you see has a little friend on it. We don't need the friend. But we'll head on down and enter. Give it a sec. Oh, was I not going to say it? Well, we're going down into the abyss. Welcome to the abyss. It's pitch black, it's cold, it's not fun. But this is effectively the final area of the DLC. So you get the forest, the town, and the abyss. Pretty cool. Frankly, I like that the DLC is short, sweet, and simple. It didn't need to be this overly complicated, crazy mess, which I like. I quite enjoy it. Yeah. Otherwise, what did we pass back here? A whole bunch of nothing. Alright. So yeah, welcome to the Abyss. At least, effectively the Abyss? Yeah, Chasm of the Abyss, there you go. It's not quite the Abyss we know and love, where we were supposed to find Koth and become a Dark Wraith, but it is the Abyss, so, be careful. Expect a lot of dark damage here. Ow. Case in point. The enemies all do a lot of damage. Frankly, from here on out, if you don't have about 300 defense and 50 vigor, expect to get almost one-shot by just about everything. It's insane. Like I said, it is an endgame DLC for a reason. At least, you know, intended to be. Ow. It doesn't help I'm also just playing poorly, but still. Oh, hi. Where did you come from? Alright. Ooh, hey, you're actually a great example. Pendant. So yeah, if you use the pendant, it'll reflect dark magic, which is cool. I don't believe it works on other players' magic, but it might. I guess I've never personally tested it. Hey, look, there it is. Dark bead. How fun. It does a lot of damage, and it's easy to use. I don't know its requirements off the top of my head, but it is very powerful. So maybe we'll use it. Oh, and hey, look, speaking of dark stuff, literal humanity manifested as enemies. It's not just a consumable item. Also, huh? What was that? A whole bunch of something going on over here. Oh. As you can see, it's the kitty. Hi, kitty. For some reason, she guides you here. And is going to keep guiding us. So, let's follow her. Nasty humanity. Now, as you might guess, they can, in fact, drop humanity. They also are kind of a weird enemy in the fact that they do contact damage. should you touch them, bump them, or otherwise, you know, interact with them, they will do damage to you. So be careful. And let me tell you, they do it pretty damn fast. Huh? So yeah, this is where she led us. Which, if you see, there's something being harassed by all these humanities. So let's get rid of them. Ow. Yeah, if you notice, when I hit them, they have a little... Ooh, nice, twin humanities. That's very nice. But, they have a little bit where you can't be hurt by them, which is super nice. Also, hey, it's Sif. If you remember, we're in the past. Here's Sif. Now, a really cool detail is should you come here first and save Sif, like we just did, he'll actually recognize you in the boss fight, which is a really awesome detail. For helping him, you get the Cleansing Great Shield, which is Artorias' shield, and assumedly what allowed him to survive the Abyss. So he's a really cool boss with a pretty involved history. Not all bosses get that same treatment. Still, we've got quite the way to go in the Abyss here. As you can see, luckily for us, there's all these little stones, which more or less are here to help guide you through it. Though there are plenty of items that are kind of hidden. You can see them from a fair distance away, but, well, we kind of lost our chance to keep going that way. So, down we go, I suppose. And I will say the sunlight maggot really helps light up this area. So as you can see, it's fairly dark. It's not too bad, but I do like having the sunlight maggot because it helps. Now there is one big item I would recommend trying to find while down here. It's a certain pyromancy that I'm sure anyone who's played PvP would know about. Black Flame. Black Flame is great combustion with higher damage. It is insanely powerful, and let me tell you, if you are a pyromancer, you want it. Which, of course, everyone's a pyromancer, so you want it. Notably, it doesn't have as many uses as normal Great Combustion. I believe it only has 4 uses. So don't be surprised if you, oh, hello there. If you might need, you know, to do a New Game Plus cycle or so. Also, yeah, this is your premier spot to farm humanity. If you've been sick of rats and have been looking for a great way to get new humanity very quickly, the DLC has you covered. Let me tell you. Equip a weapon that has a wide swing arc and does good damage, you're good to go. And hey, there's Black Flame. Beautiful. Just as I was mentioning it. At least I still remember somewhat where it was. Ooh, more twin humanities. Very nice. Yeah, now admittedly, these guys are kind of creepy, and they can really sneak up on you. Still, though, another big thing to remember is that every single humanity is a full heal. So every time you kill one of these guys, and they drop a humanity, they're essentially giving you a full free heal. So, if you wanted to conserve your Estus Flask a bit, you could go out of your way and use humanities just to keep yourself healed up here. It's not a terrible idea. Also, this elevator goes insanely fast. And, well, it brings you back right where Chester was, which is very convenient. This will also be our ideal chance to see what that key does. But hey there, guy.
Oh, you. You have quite some nerve. Or are you just thick? Fine then. What is it that you need?
So yeah, after you beat him, he'll be surprised that you try to buy things from him.
Ah, be seeing you, if you survive your travels.
Yeah. I want to say if you want his armor, you need to murder him. So, we might be murdering him in a bit. But for now, let's, go see if that crest key is what we needed to open the, door up here. Because I believe it is. Let me tell you, you want to do it. At least, you know, if you want to do everything in the DLC that you can, you want to do it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you just want to get Darkbead and leave. I wouldn't blame you. A lot of people do that. Hey! And a ladder? Alright. Up we go. And hey there. How's it going?
A visitor, have we? Thou must be the one who freed Artorias. That old friend he was. Thanks to thee, he left this world with honor intact. And here I am, retired and blind. Of little help to thee, I'm afraid.
So yeah, this is Go. He sells these little carvings, which are kind of funny. And he also sells Go's Great Arrow, as well as different Titanite shards, which is really cool. It's pretty useful.
If thou seekest to explore this domain, be wary of a black dragon. I fear thee no match for this terrible beast.
Interesting.
There's very little to be said. What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose. Farewell, human. Lead thy life as thou seest fit.
He certainly will. If you notice, his bow is, rather large. I want to say you can obtain that bow, I just don't remember how. It might be related to killing him. I don't know. Otherwise, the biggest thing right now is we have a choice. Do we want to go end the DLC, or do we want to go down into the little ravine we saw earlier and try to hunt down the black dragon? Well, obviously the answer is clear. We're going to go dragon hunting. Still, first I want to attune some different spells, ideally. So let's take a look at what we got. We don't really need Great Combustion anymore, but Darkbead. Abyss sorcery discovered by an Ulasil sorcerer on the brink of madness. Fire successive dark orbs. In contrast to standard soul sorceries, Abyss sorceries are weighty and inflict physical damage. So yeah, this will be very, very powerful for us. Same with Dark Orb. So we are now effectively a very high level sorcerer yet again, which is great. This will help us in our journey. Otherwise, I'm going to re-equip Mask of the Mother. And, let's go see if we can track down a dragon, shall we? Now, I will warn you. You will not be able to defeat Colony on the first time you venture to them. This is one of those instances where, frankly, you might want to equip a Ring of Sacrifice if you have them. If you don't worry too much about it. You can just go back down and grab your stuff. But first, you need to go to Colony and I believe die to them in order to progress their story. Basically, Go is going to help us take them on. However, in order to first do that, we need to try to fight them and fail. So, down into the big ravine we go. And, I believe we're going to be assailed by a bunch of different dogs. This will be a great time to show off our sorcery. Hi there. Hey. Oh, it missed. There we go. Yeah. As you can see, it fires several projectiles that are, very damaging. I mean, sure, it didn't look like much, but, with the right setup and equipment, You can one-shot things with this, especially players. Now, notably, earlier, before we came to the DLC, if I can find it, we got the Crown of Dusk. It doesn't look all that interesting, but its wearer is blessed by all manner of magic. This raises the power and effect of the wearer's magic, but damage suffered by magic also rises. So should you equip this, you will take more magic damage. However, this will increase your magic damage substantially. It is stupid how powerful this headpiece is. Combine this with the Dusk Crown Ring, and by God, are you going to be doing some insane damage. So for instance, let's try out Dark Orb on one of these dogs with the crown. Hello, dog. 311. Pretty good, admittedly. Pretty good. It's no slouch on damage. Now, should we unequip our crown and then try a Dark Orb? 230. So yeah, by wearing that crown, you get an extra 100 damage a cast. Now, we saw it did about 100 per bead on the dog. So let's try with the crown. We have no idea how much it did. It killed him, though. Make no mistake. So yeah, once you're ready to fight Column, head on in. And as you probably read that message, once you're done with fighting Column for the first time, we need to go back to our good friend, Go. He's going to help us actually be able to fight this boss. Because the first time you fight him, unfortunately, they are very much so still a dragon. So if I were you, grab all the goodies, like so, and get ready for a hard fight, which, unfortunately, you won't really be able to fight them. At no point will Column land, and if you don't block that with your shield, it will almost assuredly kill you. So, yeah. I think getting blasted once like this is the only real requirement to, to be eligible to go ask Go for help. But usually dying does the trick too. So now let's go ask our friend for a little help, because it admittedly yeah, we're kind of no match for Now, admittedly, also too, if you want to really make your sorceries do damage, equip the bellowing dragon crest ring. With this and the headset, you're gonna be doing some really big damage. Now, I don't think it's appropriate for me to use these on Column, but I still want to show you some of the damage, like on the dogs along the way, just because they're kind of what we've been using. Plus, I actually don't know if Column ignores... Huh. I didn't know you could close that door. Interesting. But I don't think Column is vulnerable to dark magic. I think they kind of ignore it. Anyways, hey, bud.
Tomorrow, is Black Dragon posing the duress?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, I thought as much. He's called Calamite. Ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna Londa dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end.
Yep. That's kind of the whole point of the game, ain't it?
Good, good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to thee, and I owe thee much for thy service to Artorias. Now, watch and see how Goth hunts dragons.
I guess his name's pronounced Goff. Either way. Point is, he's a homie. And he's gonna do us a really big solid. Yeah, just to mention, he's blind. He cannot see what he is doing, which is what makes this all that much more impressive. And man, no wonder this guy was called the Hawkeye. Because even though he's blind, he lands a direct hit. This will ground Kalameet and allow you to fight him.
Yes. A truer shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
So yeah, thanks to good old Goff, we can go fight Kalameet now, which is super nice. By God, will we fight Kalameet. A lot of people kind of argue back and forth on if Kalameet is the hardest boss in the game or not. Some people say Manus is, who is the other boss of the DLC. Some say Artorias. I mean, really, it's a matter of preference, and I don't remember Kalameet being all that difficult. I mean, they're hard, sure. I probably will die a good few times to them. But, I mean, otherwise, I don't know what I think is the hardest boss. I mean, frankly, we know the boss I hate the most, obviously. It's Bed of Chaos. But I wouldn't say it's hard. More just unfair. There's a difference. Also, hello there, doggy. Have a dark orb. I said have a dark orb. Yeah, 408. So yeah, we're doing quite the damage difference now. I guess we'll try it out on Kalameet, see what it does, but I'm not expecting all that much. Now, something I will tell you, the shield we got way back, that we could have gotten way back when. I believe it is called, I think straight up the Dragon Crest shield. I might be wrong on that. Find it here. Yes, the Dragon Crest shield. This offers an 85% fire damage reduction, and frankly, is a really good shield for this fight. If you don't have good flame defense, I would recommend you get some. It will help you. Also, there are some Titanite lizards that are along the way here, but frankly, I don't care for them. So yeah, let's fight Kalameet. Hi there, friend. Man, it's been a minute. Woo! Yeah, they're no friend. Like most dragons, piercing damage will avail you. Ow. As you see, they do a fair bit of damage when they hit you. Uh-oh. I want to say, yep. Frankly, this is one of the few fights where I would really recommend a shield. Even if you've never used one and are, competent and good at dodging, I would recommend using one. Now, uh-oh. My apologies to your ears. Ow! If you notice, we have that little marker now. I believe, yeah, that makes you extremely vulnerable to damage. While you have that marker, you will take, I believe, 50% more damage. Now, like all other dragons in the game, should you cut off Kalameet's tail, you will receive a weapon. It's actually a fairly good one, so I would actually recommend using it. So let's give our dark magic a try here, shall we? 364? Not bad for someone who I'm pretty sure is utterly resistant to it. But hey, may as well show it off. Woo. This is your that attack there. That is your opening to cut off Kalameet's tail. If you miss it, don't worry. There'll be other opportunities. What are you doing? I don't remember all of Kalameet's attacks all that well. Woo. Ow. Come on. Bring that tail down here. Uh-oh. Yeah, even then, having any amount of defense to fire will super help you in this fight. Bring your tail down here. Also, I feel like his hitboxes are very fair with the fire. I think a lot of dragons in the later Souls games really cheese you with hitboxes. Come on, bring your tail down here. Come on. I want your tail. All right, well. That's what I want to see. Come on, more of that. Bring the tail down. Woo! Ow. Come on, baby. Papa needs himself some dragon skin boots. Woo. Ow. Can you just bring your tail down? Just bring it. Okay, look. We can dance all day if you like, partner. Come on. You know what? I'll heal just in case. And I guess while I'm at it, let's rebuff. Sure. Can't hurt. Bring your tail down here. Quit being so sassy. Come on. I guess I'll poke you. See if that'll convince you otherwise. Woo! Yeah, honestly, it's better to have your guard broken than to completely just take a hit. That's another thing, too, with Kalameet, is that, frankly, I wouldn't recommend locking onto him. It's going to get you killed a lot more than you'd like. Oh, come on. No. Bring your tail down. I want your weapon. Come on. Bring it down here. That's not a tail. This is a tail, though. Oh, I whiffed it. Gosh darn it. Come on, brother. Give me your tail. I'll just tank it. It's all good. This is gonna hurt. Ow. Not that bad, admittedly. Come on. Give me your tail. Whew. Come on, tail attack. Let's see that tail. Please. I mean, admittedly, I'm getting a little bored of just doing this. So can you just drop that tail? Oh, please. All right. I might just need to two-hand and frankly use the overhead swings like that to hit the tail. Admittedly, great swords are really good for hitting the tail, and the straight sword is not as good. Ow. Please get up. Thank you. Is that the fire? Yes, it is. There we go. Kalameet. Come on. Give me that tail, buddy. I'll take the hit. Ow. Ooh, I haven't seen that one. Uh-huh, that's very nice. Can you bring your tail down here? Okay, look, come on. Ow. Oh, please. See, I mean, honestly, I think this is a pretty easy fight. Unless you're trying to get the tail weapon, in which case, good luck. Kalameet is kind of rude in that regard. Ow. I dodged right into the fire. Not very good. Well, I'll just heal right inside you. It's all good. that the fire? Yes, it is. I guess let's buff up again. Hopefully he drops that tail. Come on, brother. Bring it on down. Come on, tail slam. No tail slam. Unlucky. Oh, I missed it. I'll keep going for this, though. This, oh. Gonna block it. Come on, column meat. Let's see some tail action. That's, I mean, kind of what we're looking for. Not quite, though. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. I missed it. The other unfortunate part, too, is I think I'm attacking too high up on the tail. So I don't know if I'm even gonna, you know... There we go. We got it. All right. Time to win the fight now. Ow. Yeah, that's what we've been after, is that obsidian greatsword. Once you get that, feel free to kill Column. Which, yeah, he takes a fair amount of damage. But, we'll be fine. Uh-oh. That's the fire. I'm probably taking this. Ooh. Oh, we're good. All right, good job. Woo! Nice dodge, jeez. Hi. Look, it's nothing personal. I need you dead. You know, this is okay. You just go ahead. And, that's all he wrote. So, yeah, that's, Black Dragon Column. If you can beat them, you can probably beat anything else in the game. Just realistically. Not so bad. Quite a few souls, too. So, that's nice. Yeah, although I didn't use it too much, the dark magic is really powerful. And although it wasn't a great showcase, Column is fairly resistant to dark magic, so don't expect it to do a whole lot, but I mean, this setup is super powerful. Dust Crown plus the Bellowing Dragon Crest, you'll be doing some insane damage. Unfortunately for us... Ow. Hey. Hey. Okay, look, come on. There. I was trying to say, unfortunately for us, Manus of the Abyss, you know, the guy who's made of dark magic, isn't really going to care that we have dark magic, which, go figure, you know. But, at this point, I guess let's homeward bone, and, frankly... let's use some souls and get to level 120. Because, after we beat Manus, that's the end of the game. Straight up. So, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna go in here just to do things a little more safely. Yep. And you know what? Let's be a good sport about this, right? Let's drop one of these, just in case, and let's actually use all of our souls, right? Let's see how many we have, and let's see if we could have legitimately hit, you know, the level I wanted. Because frankly, they give you quite a few of these throughout the game. Yeah, 25 souls of a brave warrior, that's quite a few. Oh yeah, look at that. Now, I don't plan on using the boss souls, but, I mean, you could if you're really in a pinch. Yeah, I don't think we're going to hit 120 off of this, but we'll at least get pretty close. So there. That'll probably be well enough. At least if I can hit, if I can hit 40 dexterity, I'd be happy with that. So I guess, let's see here. Can we do it? Oh, one off. Really? Oh. Oh, come on. All right, let's see if we can pop the rest of them and get to it. Because we were, what? 50k off? There's no way. Okay. I'm just going to drop some arrows and call it a day. I tried to be fair about it, but the cards weren't in our favor. Go. Let's just duplicate us the rest of the souls we need. And we will call it a playthrough. Woohoo! What is that, like 8.6 million souls or something ridiculous like that? How fun. We really don't need that many of them. It is funny, though. Yeah, get that last point of dexterity, and I guess, I don't know, 2 points of strength? Sure, why not? And otherwise, for fighting Manus, I would recommend... Let's get invaded after we unequipped all of our buffs. Oh, good. That is unfortunate. But okay. Well, they caught us with our pants down. Okay, well, let's do it, brother. Nice gold tracer. Nice parry dagger. I like it. Ah, that's good. Oh, no. There we go. Ooh, he's kind of laggy. That's not good. That's really not good that he's super laggy. Ugh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, welcome to Dark Souls PvP. Oh, nice. Black Flame, anybody? Full heal? Alright, come on, brother. Bring you to some... Oh, fuck off. Yeah, he's just so laggy. You keep on going ahead there, buddy. What? Huh? Dark Souls PvP, everybody! It's top fucking tier! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can, uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's, yeah. Uh-huh. You can keep on doing it, but it ain't gonna work. I guarantee you, buddy. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Welcome to Dark Souls PvP, everybody! I will try to parry him, but I don't think it's possible with his internet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is Dark Souls at its finest. Incredibly bad internet. Horrible connections. I don't know how he parried me with that connection, but he did! Is he gonna try to pyromancy me again for the 80th time? No? Actually, no? Okay. Where is... what? Hey, brother. Fuck it, just start swinging like a fucking madman. Alright. I guess, I guess. I tried to do the wave, but it didn't let me, so whatever. Anyways, that was abysmal and terrible. So, like I was trying to say, I really want to just attune a bunch of pyromancy for Manus, because frankly, he's weak to it. At least I think he is. So let's do combustion and 2 normal combustions. There we go. After that utter shit show of whatever that fight was, I mean, look, that's peak Dark Souls. At least he wasn't cheating. Frankly, I'll give him that. Homie was not cheating. So frankly, amen to that guy. He's probably mad and gonna message me on Steam saying I'm a bitch for using, well, what is it? But I tried to use the little wave and it didn't let me, so, well, what is it? It was. So, sorry, guy. But, oh well. He'll live. Otherwise, I'm going to equip our humanities just in case we need an emergency heal. And, I realize I'm stupid. I could have just taken the other huge shortcut down. Why was I taking this one? Because I'm so distracted from fighting that guy that, Anyways, there's a good show of the Gold Tracer. Not only does it do really good damage, but it also inflicts bleed, which is really helpful. Plus, we got to see the parrying dagger, which was kind of cool. And if you notice, too, based on his internet connection, you could see that the parry timing was really weird. He would do the parry, like, pretty well after I, had swung and other things, and it would then miss. So, like, he had to really predict how I was going to swing, and that's where, after so long, me just mashing R1 or the right bumper, it just worked, because his connection was so poor. So it was kind of just like, just swing, it'll hit him probably. And it did. This is not the right one. I'm just taking every wrong elevator today. Oopsies. Now, something funny, mentioning parrying, the final boss of the game is actually weak to parrying, which is really funny. So if I can, I will absolutely show that you can just parry him to death, and it's hilarious. Also, I took the other wrong elevator again? Which one am I supposed to be taking? It's not that one. I thought it was the one just right over by the way, but I might be insane and wrong. Because I thought it was this one. Is it this one right here? Yes, it is. It's this one. The one next to both the other elevators. That's, of course. How could it be so foolish? Alright, back down into the abyss we go. And basically, should you just follow the little sparklies, you should get to Manus pretty easy, from what I remember. I might be wrong, but I remember being able to follow him pretty consistently and getting there. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Humanities, excuse me. I've already lost all and any dignity I already had today, so if you could just step aside real quick, I'd appreciate it. What is this little thing? Huh? Oh, that's one of those little crabs or whatever. Weird. Also, where am I going? Not feel like the right way. Excuse me, fellows. I believe I have gone the wrong way. Yeah, see, and there's something else. You can't really block them. So, yeah. I guess let's keep following this. Like, we go there, go up here. And where do we go? This is where I really forget things. Oh, goodness. Is it through here? No, because this is where we found Sif. Sif technically is completely optional. So while we saved him, you don't have to save him. Oh, gosh. I get so lost in here. Actually, you know what? I think I know exactly where to go. It's that little statue we passed up the way. I think it's over here somewhere. Yeah, like down through here? Might be wrong, but I feel like that sounds right. No, because that's where you drop down. Right. Then here, there's this down way, and then I think it's up here. But I thought we were just here. Yeah, this guy. Yep, this is the way to go. Yep, right here. Because then you come here and you come down this. Yep. This is why I always forget about this. Because it's like you have to go back up to go down. It's weird. It's not that hard once you remember it, but, you know. Weakness. Amazing item. Which is true. That's actually, I believe, that player trying to say, hey, if you don't have the pendant, you probably should. Ow. Ooh. Speaking of, there's a white Titanite slab here. So, You wanted a plus 10, I think, divine or occult weapon. I believe that'll do that for you. So that's cool. And once you're ready, excuse me, Mr. Humanity, I don't want any hugs. Head on in. I would also recommend you buff first. All right, time for a whooping. So, anybody home? Well, don't you worry. He's here to play. So down into his custom arena you go, and let me tell you, get ready for a whooping. His Manus, I think, is harder than Column by a fair margin. Because he's a lot bigger and quicker. Hi, buddy. Yeah. Well, let's get to it. Hello, Manus. Woo. I really don't remember a lot of his moves, but, yeah, he has a crazy combo attack. Which, let me tell you, it's one of the reasons you really should have a lot of humanity. Now, luckily, we do a fair amount of damage. And, blocking is your friend. Yeah, see, heavy attacks compared to normal attacks do about... It's a 200 damage difference. Most things at this point in the game really don't care for slashing damage. It's kind of the most negligible damage type, which sucks. Ow. Yeah, I forget his patterns. Whew, there we go. I'm gonna take that. Yep. Ow. I want to say it'll be fairly obvious when you need to use the pendant. I think a bunch of black magic starts swirling around you or something. Woo. Go. Ow. At least that wasn't the combo. Yeah, and as you can see, he puts you in this, like, weird arena around him. It's kind of cool. Yeah, here we go. So just use this and just keep using it. There you go. Once you're done, you should be fine. It's dangerous. Ooh, we need to rebuff. There we go. Once this buff runs out, I think I'll try out some pyromancy. Oh, really? He got us in the combo. Ow. Also, it didn't even get the buff off. All right, well, pyromancy now then. Oh, yeah, he's actually not all that weak to it. For some reason, I thought he was. I'm probably thinking of the Four Kings. You know, they're both part of the Abyss. It would make sense, but, you know, if all you have is pyromancy, well, you could do worse. You'd be using a broken straight sword, for God's sake. Really? Really, buddy? I just want to get my buff back. Alright, little rude, but it's fine. Woo! Careful about that one. If that hits you directly, it'll probably kill you. Just a heads up. There we go. We got the buff. Yeah, that's a big damage attack. Frankly, I'm just trying to get damage where I can. Yeah, if you roll into it like that, it's pretty easy to dodge. Come on, baby. Keep doing that one. I like that one. Then we got him. Alright. Not so bad. So yeah, I definitely think he's much more of an active threat than Column was, but he's not bad. He's not bad at all. So, it's time to go finish Dark Souls 1. Kind of crazy how fast it came and went. I want to say once you're done, you can find Dusk somewhere, but... Ah, yes, here she is. Hey there. You okay? You good? So, yeah. I want to say that's all she does is just kind of quiver there. But understood that you did save her, so that's good. Otherwise, once you're done, let's go to the Ulasil Sanctuary. I believe Elizabeth, our big mushroom friend, has something for us. Or at least something to say. Where were you? Ah, yes, here you were. Hello!
I have awaited thee. Thou hast rescued Princess Dusk.
It's true.
And rid us of that terrible primeval human, even halting the spread of the abyss. I salute the grandeur of thine enterprise. Please allow me to express my gratitude. I thank thee, as do we all.
So yeah, she gives you some Elizabeth mushrooms, which I believe heal every status and fully heal you. So they're pretty good. But after that, that's kind of it.
May the flames guide thee.
So, yeah. Once you've done all that, if you really want, you can kill Chester and take all his stuff. I don't feel the need to, but you can if you like. Otherwise, let's equip all of our classic spells, and I think I'm going to keep Dark Orb and Dark Beat on, just because, frankly, they're funny. And now, let's go finish Dark Souls 1, shall we? This'll be fun. So just for reference, right? I think it'd be really funny to use the Crown of Dusk and the Bellowing Ring against our good friend Gwyn. So, we're gonna. Now, admittedly, for this final area, I don't take my time here. I think it's one of the easiest areas in all of Dark Souls, because the only enemies that are here are Black Knights. Still, once you're ready, offer the Lord souls and they'll let you in. Man, that is awfully bright. Yeah. You can now enter the Kiln of the First Flame. Which, is pretty cool. Admittedly, it's a really sweet backdrop. And while I do like Ash Lake a little better, this place is still just as awesome. Now, notably, all of the enemies in here being Black Knights is actually a really good thing. They will infinitely respawn. So if you wanted their armor or weapons, you can now permanently grind them. Frankly, though, I don't see a need to fight them. We've seen everything they do. We've fought every single version of them. And frankly, while they do hurt, they're not all that dangerous. We could just sit here and parry them all day. It's admittedly kind of hilarious that not only are they weak to parrying, so is their leader, Gwyn. It's kind of really funny. Still, this area is really cool, and I think it's a shame that we don't get to spend more time here. At least I'm not spending more time here. Oh yeah, there's the Black Knight set. So if you want it, you unfortunately do have to wait until you get here. You can't farm it, but you can farm their shield and weapons. So that's nice. Yeah. It's been a super fun playthrough, and I've really enjoyed my time. I love this game so much. It offers a degree of freedom that not many other games really do. And frankly, ow. Frankly, ow. You know, I really couldn't have put it much better. Just gonna quick deal with this Halberd Knight real quick, just so I can heal and get ready for Gwyn. But yeah, I mean, look at the damage they do. They're not that intimidating. We hurt so bad at this point that, frankly, these guys are not a huge threat. Come on, buddy. I got all day. Go ahead. No? Alright. Hey, blue titanite chunk. How nice. So yeah, at this point, let's buff up our weapon. Fight the final boss of Dark Souls. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Ow, I messed up my timing. So yeah, notably, you can parry him. You can't parry that grab, so be careful. Now, he is quite quick, but, I mean, he's parryable. He is notably a pretty hard fight. So, I wouldn't blame you if you do struggle on him. And while it is fun and well that, you know, hee hee hoo hoo ha ha, you know, we're just parrying the poor fella, he is a notably hard fight if you don't just parry him. And frankly, yeah, even if we didn't, we have Darkbead, which utterly destroys him. Gwyn, buddy old pal, it's been a hell of a journey. You did good. But it's time for us to be done. We fought long and hard. And while I do plan on linking the fire, remember that if you want the other ending, all you have to do is walk out that door. Still, been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me. So, that's all there is to it. That's Dark Souls Remastered. This is a game that, frankly, I think is pretty infamous online for being the hardest game ever and so esoteric and weird and crazy difficult that it's impossible to play and get through and there's no way you can beat it. And, I mean, honestly, to someone who's never played the game and never, you know, experienced anything like this, it's not too far off. This game doesn't give you a lot of hints. It will not hold your hand. It can be a very difficult game. But if you know what you're doing, even without using glitches, even without using the best of the best stuff, even without knowing every single item, every spell, getting all the things, doing every quest correctly, even without all that, you can still get through the game just fine. I wanted this playthrough to show people that, frankly, Dark Souls is a really fun experience that the difficulty shouldn't deter you from. Sure, there's hard things in this game, but it's not a game that has to be difficult. You might struggle. You might not understand the appeal. And frankly, that's okay. Dark Souls isn't for everyone. And that's why hopefully, even if you yourself never play through Dark Souls, hopefully the playthrough we did here together will help you experience it. It's not the same as if you were to play it yourself. That much I will admit. How you would go through this game is going to be vastly different than how I did. You could have leveled strength and used a huge giant hammer or a massive greatsword. Maybe you went a pure magic build and used the later super spells that you get from Logan. Maybe you did a dexterity build and used curved swords or a katana. The possibilities are pretty endless, and frankly, that's one of the reasons I love this game. It's so open-ended and offers players such an amazing feeling of freedom that I don't think any other games really hit so much. It's almost like when you get to customize your party in an RPG, except it's all character dependent. I really love this game for that reason. The only thing I can think of that even comes remotely close to building a character like this is something like Dungeons and Dragons, which is a tabletop board game. Admittedly, games like, say, Dragon Quest or Pokemon, anything that has an RPG where you build a team has elements that I feel Dark Souls does all the same. Sure, you're not building a team, but you're effectively building one body that acts like a team. You can have one character and, do things that everyone in a team could do. If I wanted, I could have leveled up my character to heal, to do strength things, to do ninja flips, all sorts of things. The point I'm trying to get to is that you're wonderfully versatile in this game, and you can build basically the exact character you want. If you wanted to do some naked archer guy who uses, lightning bolt arrows with a little crossbow, you can. It's so fun because of that. And the world is filled with wonder. It's grim, don't get me wrong, but I think it's worth experiencing. But like I said, even if you yourself never play through Dark Souls, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I know I myself really did. And frankly, there's a lot to be found here to love.
Yes, indeed.
Just like she says, yes indeed. When you beat the game, you start your New Game Plus cycle. So, this game isn't really ever meant to end. Well, there is a definitive ending with credits. You can play through New Game Plus, which makes the game even harder on every cycle up to New Game Plus 7. So if you really want, you can keep going and going. And like I've shown off, there are so many online aspects of this game. Invasions, PvP, the arena, covenant upon covenant dedicated to playing online. There's so much this game offers. And while it is difficult, while it is a whole other playstyle and world that, frankly, no other game is really like, I think Dark Souls offers a little something for everybody. Whether it's the challenge, the world building, even just the character creation. It's a game and a series that, frankly, I really enjoy. So, thanks for watching. As always, I've been Brad. Hope you have a good one.